Hi everyone, welcome to class. My name's Claire and today I'll be taking you through a 45-minute practice, and I thought we would bring the theme of grounding into the practice today. So the ancient yogis, they worked with things in nature a lot of the time, and they studied the way that animals moved, and they studied nature, and they had this understanding that we are made up of the elements. We're very connected to the elements around us. And in terms of grounding, you can use grounding practices and connecting in with the earth element to help you settle down if you're feeling a little bit scatty, or your sort of mind's out there and you need to bring it back to the present and ground a little bit to balance yourself out. Then yeah, you would use the earth element and different visualizations to help to balance yourself out in that way. So today we'll be doing a lot of visualization around grounding and the earth element, and yeah, hopefully you'll be feeling a lot more grounded and settled after this practice. So let's get going, and we'll start on our seat. Again, a kitchen chair is perfect, something without arms, and we want to get the legs at a right angle. So a couple of blocks or a pile of books underneath the feet is perfect. And then we'll come and sit, and we'll just rock from side to side until we feel the sit bones underneath us, and then we'll come to a still and start to tune into that sense of grounding. So feel as though your sit bones are just starting to melt down into the chair. And then we'll close our eyes and start to lengthen through the crown of the head, draw the shoulders back and down, and find a really beautiful straight posture. And then we'll bring our awareness back to our sit bones and continue to feel as though we're grounding down through that point where we're connected to the chair beneath us. And as the sit bones continue to ground down into the chair, we'll bring our awareness down our legs to our feet, and we can imagine that there's tree roots or an anchor starting to extend from the feet and grounding our feet into the ground beneath us. So we can imagine that our legs are like tree trunks, maybe. Through our feet there is an anchor or tree roots starting to extend down into the ground beneath us, helping us feel a little bit more anchored and starting to increase that feeling of being grounded. And as you continue to visualize the tree roots, and as you continue to feel more and more settled and grounded, we'll start to visualize any tension that we're feeling melting away from the body. And we'll start to let our mind settle as well, leave behind any outside thoughts. A deeper sense of internal awareness now. We're completely internal, very relaxed through our entire body, and continuing to feel that sense of grounding down through the sit bones and through the feet. And then bring your attention to your breath and notice how the natural breath is flowing in and out of the body. let's start to find a little more depth in the breath. And we'll start dropping into a deep belly breathing, diaphragmic breathing, where the belly rises and falls. Inhale, it expands. And exhale, the belly falls back towards the spine. So smooth, deep inhalation, belly expands. And exhale, belly falls. So we're just exaggerating that rise and fall of the belly so that we're training our diaphragm to move a little more dynamically as we breathe and as we train ourselves to find more depth in the breath. And we'll stay here just for a couple more moments, tuning into the belly breathing. Continuing to allow the body to feel settled and grounded. Maybe every now and then just checking in with our visualization of tree roots extending from the feet, connecting you to the floor beneath you. And every now and then bringing your attention to the sit bones and feeling into that sense of grounding and settling down through that point of connection. And then let's move into our yogic breathing that we started working on last week. So we'll bring one hand to our belly, one hand to our chest. And as we inhale, the belly expands like a balloon. And the second part of the inhale, the chest expands and the clavicles lift. As we exhale, the chest falls. And then the second part of the exhale, the stomach falls. So we go inhale, belly rises, chest expands. Exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. Inhale, belly rises like a balloon. Second part of the inhale, the chest expands, the clavicle bones lift. And exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. Inhale, belly rises, chest expands, clavicle bones lift. And as we exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. So we'll continue on with this breath and we start to find that sense that there's a rippling wave-like motion moving up and down through the torso. So keep going like this. The inhale is broken up into a couple of parts. Belly rises, chest expands. And exhale, chest falls, stomach falls. And let's do 6 more rounds like this, just keeping your hands on your torso so you can feel that rippling wave-like motion. We have about 5 more rounds from here and we'll do it in silence so we can really tune into the details of this breath and just work to find more smooth, seamless control in the breath. We want the inhales and exhales to be matching in length. Should have about 3 more rounds to go. Inhale, belly rises, chest expands, clavicle bones lift. And exhale, chest falls and stomach falls. 2 more rounds in your own time. And the breath should be quite deep now, but it shouldn't feel forced or strained in any way. We're just working to increase our lung capacity. But we want it to feel easy. Finish off one last round. And then we'll come back to the belly breathing, so don't worry about the clavicle bones or the chest anymore. Just come back to that deep, even breathing where the belly rises and falls with the breath. we'll take a mental note to try and remember to bring this deeper belly breathing through the entire practice with us. And then when you're ready, open your eyes if you haven't already. And we'll start with some wrist and hand work. So we'll bring the hands out in front of us. And as we inhale, we'll spread the fingers wide and peel the fingers back towards the head. As we exhale, we'll clench the fists together. Inhale, spread the fingers wide, peel the fingers back towards the head. And exhale, clench the fists together, bring the fists forward. Let's do 5 more rounds, and we're coordinating this with our breathing. As we inhale, we extend and stretch the fingers out. And as we exhale, we make a fist and bring our fists forward. Inhale and exhale. Should have about 4 more rounds to go. Try not to let the arms fall, try and keep them at a horizontal line. And 1 more round. And just let the arms fall back down to the legs, have a moment's rest. And then we'll do some wrist rolls, bringing the hands back forward, making some fists. And as we exhale, we bring the knuckles outwards and down. And as we inhale, we bring them inwards and up. So we're exploring our full range of motion in our wrist joint. We're moving the synovial fluid around through the joint, so we're increasing the amount of nutrients and fluid that move through the joints. And we'll do 3 more in this direction. And next time the knuckles will reach up to the ceiling, reverse the direction. And release the arms down to the floor. So let's do a few spinal movements now. So start by dropping the left ear down to the left shoulder. Keep dropping the head down until you start to feel a bit of a stretch through the side of the neck, and the head continues to lead you down as far as what feels comfortable for you. Once you feel like you can't bend to the side anymore, reverse the direction of the head. So the head moves first, don't move the spine just yet. The head is leading the action, and then this action of the head ripples slowly down through the spine and leads you the other way. So once you come over and you can't go any further, the head moves the other way, but we're not moving the lower spine yet. We're just letting the vertebrae stack one on top of the next. And it becomes this really slow, snaking kind of movement where we're opening up the side vertebrae. So once you've got the hang of that pattern, you can speed it up a little bit. But once it starts to feel a little bit clunky or you get lost, just start from the beginning. And just remember, you sort of think of each and every vertebrae sort of curving after the next in a sequential kind of movement. So the head goes over to the side, and picture each and every vertebrae as it starts to curve. And then once you can't drop over to the side anymore, the head starts to move the other way. But picture each and every vertebrae as it moves one after the other in a sequential fashion. So once you can't come over to the side anymore, that's when the head starts to move the other way, and that leads the action. And let's do a couple more rounds from side to side. Keep opening up the side vertebrae. Move quite slowly, and remember to breathe deeply. And don't worry too much if you get a little bit stuck or a little bit lost. Just slow it right down and just picture one vertebrae stacking on top of the next, one by one. As you come over to the side and you can't go any further, you feel like if you go any further you'll get stuck. That's the point where the head starts to move the other way and leads the spine over to the other side. You don't want to feel like there's any strain moving into the spine at all. So just move slowly enough so that you know when you've gone over far enough. It can just be a slight little curve like that, and then the head moves the other way. And then when you can't go over any further, then that's when the head starts to lead and we go the other way. And you sort of feel how the side vertebrae are opening up with this one by one. One vertebrae stacking on top of the next. Let's do 2 more rounds on each side. And then come to a still. So we'll do some more spinal isolations, and we'll imagine there's a string attached to the belly button. And imagine there's a bowl at your center and you're trying to move the belly button or the middle of the spine around the rim of that bowl. So as we inhale, the string pulls the belly button forward, the shoulders peel back, and we're arching through our back with the belly button leading forward. Then from that belly button point or the middle of the spine, that point moves around the side of the bowl. And that point moves to the right, and the head and tail move to the left. And then that point moves around to the back of the bowl, head and tail move to the front. And the middle of the spine moves to the left, head and tail to the right. And then belly button pulls forward. So don't worry too much about what the head and the hips are doing. Just imagine that your belly button is tracing a circle around this bowl that's sitting at your center, if that makes sense. So belly button moves forward to the front of the bowl. Belly button moves around to the right of the bowl. Belly button moves to the back of the bowl. Belly button moves around to the left of the bowl. And then belly button moves to the front of the bowl. So you can even think of it like 4 points as well, if that helps. So belly button to front of bowl. Belly button over to the right of the bowl. Belly button moves to the back of the bowl, and then around to the left of the bowl, and then forward. So you can just think of those 4 points, and you're trying to move the belly button or the middle of the spine through those points. Once you've got the hang of that, then you can feel as though you're bringing it into more of a circle where the middle of the spine or the belly button is tracing around the edge of that circle. So there's that saying, we're only as old as the health or flexibility of our spine, health, flexibility and strength of our spine. And these kind of mobility kind of exercises that help to just get the spine mobile and limber, these are the sort of exercises that are going to open things up and strengthen things and keep the spine young. Okay, next time the belly button moves forward, let's reverse the direction of the circle. So belly button is forward, then it moves around to the left. Then it pulls to the back of the bowl, around to the right, forward, to the left, to the back, and to the right. So it can be very, very, very subtle. It doesn't have to be too dynamic. It can just be a very, very gentle, subtle movement. Or if you feel really comfortable there, you can take it to its edge, drawing the belly button all the way forward and the shoulders and the chest peels back. And then the belly button pulls around to the left and the rest of the spine curves the other way. Belly button pulls back and we arch the shoulders forward. Belly button pulls around to the right and the spine curves over to the left. Belly button pulls forward and the shoulders peel back. So you can make this as dynamic or as subtle as what feels good for you. Remember, this is your practice, and you always want to be listening to the signals your body is giving you in the moment so that you know how you need to be practicing today. You never should injure yourself in yoga because we're always listening to those signals and respecting where we're at, and that is completely different on different days. Okay, slowly coming to a still, and we'll do some very, very, very gentle arm swings using a little bit of momentum but not too much. So right hand comes to the heart, left arm reaches back. Move slowly around towards your edge. And then coming to the front, left hand to the heart, right arm reaches back. And then swapping over, right hand to heart, left arm reaches back. Left hand to heart, right arm reaches back. You can speed it up just a little bit if that feels good for you. You're starting to use just a little bit of momentum, but not so much that you lose control. We want to keep control so that we're not moving quite to our edge just yet. We're either just using a little bit of momentum as we swing the arms, or we're slowing it right down and just reaching back to our edge without much momentum at all. If you're in this slight momentum version, you might feel as though you're moving a little bit further towards your edge now. Remember, your edge is that point where if you go beyond the edge, that's when you might move into the territory of your body starting to really give you signals that you need to stop. Your edge is that point that you can comfortably move to while respecting all of those signals. And remember, keep going. Remember, it's always better to pull back from your edge and know exactly where you are than it is to hit you at your edge or where you think your edge is and then realize, oh, I've gone a little bit too far, because sometimes it takes us a little while to work out exactly where that perfect edge for us is. So yeah, much better to move to that slowly with lots of awareness. Okay, slow down. And we'll bring the hands back to the legs. Good. So we'll do a little standing sequence now. And I'll just bring my chair around so you can see what we're doing. You might like to use a kitchen bench or just anything you can grab onto that's nice and sturdy. Make sure your chair is quite sturdy. We'll bring the left foot out in front of us, and we'll make sure that our ankle, our knee and our hip are in a parallel line. And then we bring the right foot behind us and our toe is on a 45-degree angle out to the side. And again, our knee and our ankle is in line with our hip. We square the hips forward. For some of us, this stance might be a little bit more narrow. For some of us, we might feel like we can step that out a little bit wider, but make sure you can hold on to your chair. And we'll draw the shoulders back and down. Check for that horizontal line underneath the chin and move the chin back so the back of the neck moves into alignment with the spine. And we'll take a deep inhale here and exhale, start to bend into the left knee. And it might just be a really tiny little bend, or it might be that you can bring the knee forward so the knee's directly over the left ankle. And remember, this stance can be as wide as you want it to be. It can be quite narrow here, or you could step it right back if that feels comfortable for you. But what you want to make sure of is that the hips are not opening up and flattening like this. We're keeping this sense that the hips are tracking forward towards the chair. So just find a stance that's comfortable for you, and the legs need to be wide enough to keep the hips forward as much as possible. Okay, straightening through the knee. Take a deep inhale and exhale, come into the bend. Inhale to straighten and exhale to bend. Have as many rests as you need to. If you need to just come out and stand for a moment, that's completely fine. If you want to just pause with straight knee for a minute, that's fine too. But otherwise, we'll keep moving with that breath. Now we might like to bring an arm into it if that feels good. So left hand can stay on the chair for support. Right arm can reach up over the head as the left knee bends. Exhale, straighten, hands come back to the chair. Inhale, bend, arm comes up over the head. And exhale, back to the chair, straight knee. Let's do 2 more rounds. And then we'll step the feet together and swap sides. So now the right foot is forward, the left foot is back. We swivel the left toes out to that 45-degree angle, and we're making sure that our right ankle, our right knee, our right hip are in a straight line along the mat, and our left ankle, knee, and left hip are in a parallel line. So our feet are apart slightly. And then we just adjust as we need to. It can be as wide or as narrow as you need it to be. You can step forward or you can step back a little further. And we've got a hold of the chair. We take a deep inhale and exhale, bend into the knee. And it can be just a slight bend, or you can bring the knee all the way over the ankle. If anything doesn't feel quite right, just pull back a little bit, make it a little bit more narrow. And pause in stillness whenever you need to, but otherwise we'll start to move with the breath. Slowly moving into that bend through the right knee. Inhale, straighten. One more round like this with the support of the chair, and you continue on as you are right now, or we can bring our arm into it. So left arm sweeps over the head as the right elbow bends. Exhale, bring it back to the chair. Inhale, bend, and exhale, back to the chair. You might even find that you're really comfortable here and you can bring both of the arms away from the chair and then down. I think most of us will be quite comfortable just coordinating that bending and movement through the arm. And let's just do a few more rounds. Stepping the feet together, we'll just do a little supported tree pose. So you can face the chair and hold onto the chair like this, or your kitchen bench, or you can come around to the side, your choice. And we'll step onto our left foot, spread the toes wide and ground down through that supporting leg. And again, we'll come to that visualization of grounding. So you can imagine that the left leg is like a tree trunk, and there's roots extending from the foot down into the earth, and that is creating a lot more stability. And we'll just open the right knee out to the side, moving into our full external rotation, and we'll just touch our toes, the ball of our foot to the floor, and rest the heel against that leg. If you feel comfortable, you might even feel comfortable just bringing the foot up and pressing it into the inner side of the leg like this. So let's stay here for 5 deep breaths, visualizing that sense of grounding, the anchor or tree roots extending from the foot into the ground beneath you. And there's that downward pull through the lower body, but there's an upward pull to the crown of the head, and that is helping you stay stable. And bring this hand to the hip, or bring the thumb to the heart. Or you might even like to bring this arm over the head and bring it out to a diagonal line. But if your arms are lifted, your scapular bone, your shoulders are pressing down, so you're making more space between the shoulders and the ears. Two more breaths. One more breath. And then bringing the arm over the head down through the center. And then let's come around to the other side. So again, you can face the chair and bring both hands to the chair or the bench, or you can just come around to the other side, right hand to the chair. And this time our right leg is the supporting leg, and we're visualizing the right leg like a tree trunk with roots extending down into the earth beneath you, and that's creating a lot more stability. Then we swivel the left knee out to the side, and we can just bring the ball of the foot down to the mat and rest the heel on the leg, or we can bring the foot up and place it on the inner leg. We're just exploring our full range of external rotation. So try and bring the knee out to the side as much as you can. And then there's this sense that from the hips downwards, all of that is pulling down and grounding down into the earth beneath you. And then there's an opposite pull, a lift up to the crown of the head, and that is helping to create a lot of stability for you. So this time, the left thumb will come to the heart, the right hand will be on the chair. If you're feeling a bit wobbly, just come and face the chair or the bench and make sure you've got both hands on top. You can even bring the foot away from the leg a little bit and lift the heel, and that will help create a bit more stability if you're feeling a little bit wobbly. If you want to move the arm can reach up over the head and come to that diagonal line. Let's hold for a couple more breaths. And of course, with this hand, I'm just pretending that I'm holding onto a bench or a chair, because if I turn around to the other side, you won't be able to see my front. Breathing in, and exhale, bring that lifted hand back down to the chest, and release, and we'll give the legs a bit of a shake out, and let's make our way back to our chair. So we'll come to a seated cat-cow now. So sitting on the chair, and again we'll just shift from side to side and make sure we can feel the sit bones underneath us. We're grounding down through the feet and connecting in with that sense of grounding and connecting to the earth element to keep us stable. And then as we inhale, we're going to draw the elbows back and slide the hands up the thighs. and imagining that string attached to our belly button again. The belly button is going to pull forward and the shoulders will pull back, and we lift through the chest. Don't drop the head all the way back. Keep length through the back of the neck. Keep the head lifting. As we breathe out, the hands slide down towards the knees and the belly button pulls back, and we arch through our back, chin to chest. Inhale, slide the hands back up the thighs, the belly button pulls forward, the shoulders peel back. Looking up to the ceiling but not dropping the head back, keeping length through the back of the neck, keeping the head and the neck lifted. Exhale, arms slide forward, rounding through the back. Keep going. I'm just going to move my chair around to the side so you can see this from another angle. So as the arms slide forward, we're rounding through the back. We're pulling back through the sides, belly button is pulling back to the spine, and the chin moves to the chest. As we inhale, the hands slide back, the belly button pulls forward, the shoulders peel back. We keep length through the back of the neck and we lift through the heart. Exhale, hands slide forward, we round through the back. And this can be as subtle or as dynamic as you feel is comfortable for you. So let's do 3 more rounds. And finishing off your last round. And then we'll come back to neutral spine. And I'll just flip around to the front. We'll do one last little sequence. So as we inhale, the arms scoop up over the head and the palms press together. The arms can be forward if that is better for you. And then as we exhale, we bring the arms out to the side, keeping a straight spine. The right hand presses into the side, the left arm lifts. We reach up to the ceiling, we take a little curve with the spine. And then we bring this arm forward, just very, very slightly round through the spine, swapping the arms over. And then arms come out to the side. Go the other way. Left hand finds the side. You take a little side bend, just a tiny little curve. The arm reaches across. As we come through the center, the arms swap over to the other side and then to a horizontal line. Let's go one more time on each side. Bring the arm forward. As the arms come through the center, they swap over. And last side. Left hand finds the side of the chair. The right arm scoops over the head. The arm scoops forward to the center, and here there's a little round through the back as we swap the arms over. Spine straightens, find the side of the chair. Slight little side bend. And we'll bring the arms over the head. Arms scoop out to the side. And then we scoop them back up. Hands come through the center. We start to hinge forward at the hips. Bring the hands forward and rest the elbows just above the knees. Keep hinging forward. Some of us can stay here and just feel into that hinge. That might be enough, and that's completely fine. If you feel comfortable, you can maybe slide the fingertips down to the floor and nuzzle the belly into the thighs and just let the spine round and relax forward. The moment that any sensations creep into the body that don't feel quite right, you make sure that you pull right back and let the body rest. We always want to be moving slow enough so we can pick up on those signals. We should always know exactly where our edge is. Stay for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Sliding back up, elbows come above the knees. Pause for a breath here. And then we come up to sit. So right arm scoops up over the head and the left leg scoots forward. We peel the toe back towards the head. Arm scoops around to the side and we replace the foot. Other side. Left arm scoops up over the head, out to the side. Extend through the right leg, peel the toes back towards the head, and then place the foot, arms come down to the side. So if that feels a little bit confusing or a little bit clunky, coordinating both, you can just focus on either the arms or the legs. So inhale, left leg extends, peel the toe back towards the head, and then place the foot. Other side, right toe peeled back towards the head, extend through the knee, and then place the foot. Or you can just do the arms. Arm extends out to the side over the head, and we're reaching up through the fingertips and drawing the shoulders down. Arm scoops around to the side and drops down. Other side. And the arms can come forward a little bit if that's where your range is more comfortable. And around to the side and down. Or we're coordinating opposite hand to leg as the arm scoops out to the side, the leg scoots forward, and the toes peel back. Place the foot, drop the arm. Other side, left arm scoops up, right leg extends out, peel the toes back. And place the foot, arm scoots down. Let's bring our hands to our thighs. Round through the back, cat-cow one last time, but we'll linger a little bit longer this time. Hands slide forward, we're rounding through the back. Stay there for 2 more breaths. 1 more deep inhale. As you exhale, slide the hands back, draw the elbows in, belly button pulls forward, peel the shoulders back. Don't drop the head back, keep length in the back of the neck, and we'll hold for another 2 deep breaths. Breathing in, exhale, coming back to straight spine. Finish with a spinal twist, so we'll scoot around to the side of our chair. Bring the blocks underneath, and we'll start to twist the belly towards the back of the chair and see if you can grab on with both hands so you can pull yourself around into a twist. Or the other option is to bring the back arm, the right arm, if I'm around to my right, the right arm rests on the back of the chair. The left hand comes in front and grabs the side of the chair, and I'm using that as leverage to pull myself around towards the back of the chair. So I'll just move my chair around to the side so you can see that a little bit better. So I'm sitting around to the right of my chair, and I'm either twisting and grabbing onto the back of the chair with both hands to pull myself around, or I'm bringing my right arm, my back arm to rest on top of the chair, and the left hand catches on to the side of the chair and I pull myself around. Let's hold for another 2 deep breaths. Breathing in, exhale, release, and we come over to the other side. So now I'm sitting around to my left, and I'm either grabbing onto the chair with both hands, or my left forearm is resting on top of the chair. My right hand is catching onto the side of the chair, and I just gently pull myself around. Hold for a couple of deep, even breaths. Breathing in and exhale, we release, and we'll just come and sit facing forward again. I'm moving my chair around just so you can see that twist, but your chair should still be in the same spot. And I come and sit, and I'll rock from side to side until I can feel those sit bones underneath again. And then once I'm starting to feel a little bit more grounded through those sit bones, I'll close my eyes, start to ground down through the feet, visualize the tree trunks or the anchor extending from the feet, connecting you to the earth. And this connection to the earth and this visualization of grounding is helping you feel a little bit more stable and settled. And we'll spend the last couple of moments scanning through our body, just noticing how we're feeling different. We'll notice what feels new. Start with things like noticing which joints are feeling a little bit more freedom. Notice the most obvious sensations first, and then start to draw your attention deeper and deeper and notice even more subtle sensations. Things like the pulse or the heartbeat, or how you're feeling energetically. Start to let your deeper breath settle back into a more natural, everyday breath. Once we've done a full body scan to notice how we're feeling after our practice today, we'll come back to visualizing this sense of grounding, connecting to the earth element. Feeling our feet connected to the ground beneath us. And visualizing those tree roots which are making us feel grounded and stable and strong in our foundation. And as we visualize this stable foundation, the connection between our bodies and the earth beneath us, and visualize the roots or the anchor strengthening this connection, you might like to think about how these kinds of visualizations and this kind of grounding practice might actually affect how you are in the rest of your day or week, and how this might actually increase your sense of stability and balance, increase your ability to stay a little bit more present. One more breath here. Just slowly bring your hands together, and we'll just start to rub the palms together to create energy and warmth between the hands. And once you've got that energy and warmth, we'll just cup the hands over the eyes and feel that warmth pour into the head through the eye socket. Give the brow a little bit of a massage, the jaw a little bit of a massage as you bring the hands away to the heart. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Thank you for coming to practice with me today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope that you're feeling a little bit more settled and stable and grounded, and I hope you can bring some of that into the rest of your day. So I will see you next time, and have a beautiful week, everyone. Bye.